What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Chili Clan. I am Twintail, and you know what it means when I am dressed as Q Horror from Rebirth for You. That's right, it's time for more Rebirth for You content. So everyone, for those of you who do not know, Rebirth for You is a trading card game made by Bushiroad, currently for the Japanese market as of right now. It was released back in March 19, 2020, which means that later this week will be the first anniversary of Rebirth for You. So with that, I just want to go ahead and give 5 things that I hope for Rebirth for You coming up in 2021. Number 1, a continuation of minimizing or eliminating trait locking altogether. So we all know with several releases in Rebirth for You, we've had things like, Rebirth for You's teams being trade locked, or Bang Dream Garupa Pico's bands being trade locked, or D4DJ being trade locked. But we have also seen some titles that are also not really trade locked for the most part. A very recent example is the Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Gekijo. And that was a title that did things like generic recombos and really had no trade locking whatsoever for the most part, despite separating the girls by, their attributes in the original game, passion, cute, and cool. So I really think Rebirth for You can definitely go in a better direction by allowing for future expansions and titles to implement this model and just allow for more open deck building. Of course, it might make things harder, but I think it does open up a realm for worth exploring. Number 2, creating as few trial decks as possible for a Neo Standard title. Some of you might be thinking, what is wrong with a lot of trial decks? I'm glad you asked. Titles like Hololive Production and D4DJ have access of upwards of 6 trial decks, which means that they have upwards of playing 6 different generic snipes, blockers, etc. to allow for some possibly degenerate strategies. While I did say that we should minimize and eliminate trait locking, we also shouldn't open up the door to allow for decks to just simply be 24 Sakuretsu armor and a healistic deck and, kinda win in that relatively linear strat, and it just overall doesn't make the game very enjoyable for the majority of players. In fact, for those of you who may know, I am also a moderator over at the Rebirth for You TCG Global Community Discord, and we have had multiple people complain about the prevalence of the Hololive Energy Snipe deck. And frankly speaking, a lot of people would just really prefer it if we just don't have any more decks that could play an absurd number of generic snipes. Number 3, a proper card game anime. While the Rebirth for You short anime series has been fun to watch, it's been very entertaining, I believe that this franchise can also do much more by following in the footsteps of, say, the original Cardfight Vanguard, just to follow the steps of the girls doing, not just the activities that we've seen them do in the short anime, but also engage more with the card game proper to help to sell the card game and make it look more engaging. I think Rebirth for You can definitely avoid this whole concept of, the world's going to end, we have to play a card game to defend it. We can definitely try to make a more engaging card game anime that I think can help to bring more people into Rebirth, and it'll just be very interesting to see the different characters interact with, the new Neo Standard titles, old Neo Standard titles with new support, just to show off, different playstyles, different ways that players can explore and execute in real life. And that kind of brings me to my 4th point. Either an English release or at least some way for a stronger global reach. For the most part, Rebirth for You has been more or less strictly Japanese. We do get some subtitled content of Seiyu giving some welcome messages that, thanks to people like Heart of the Cards and community members like Ghostovich. But for the most part, unless you really follow Japanese Bushiroad social media, you won't really know about Rebirth for You. So I think that the franchise could definitely use some extra regional. Maybe it could be a additional official English translated resources, or just translating to other languages, Chinese, Spanish, you name it. I just really feel Rebirth for You can definitely benefit from reaching more people overall. But last but not least, and I think many people are waiting forever for this, expansions for Revue Starlight Relive and Isekai Quartet. We have heard nothing about Revue Starlight Relive or Isekai Quartet, despite the two having additional material to work off of. And you know what? I think players for those two titles definitely deserve something. There's a reason why we're not really seeing these titles being played in tournament settings anymore. While I do have to give credit for Hololive Production to allow Rebirth for You to thrive through the year 2020, I believe has also pushed older titles like Revue Starlight Relive and Isekai Quartet out of the meta. So I strongly hope that Bushiroad chooses to go back and just try to come up with something for these titles to keep up with the current meta game. So that is my top 5 hopes for Rebirth for You in 2021. Let me know if you agree with what I say or you disagree. Definitely feel free to leave a comment. I want to know what you hope for coming up for Rebirth for You in 2021. And with that, everybody, I hope you continue to embrace the darkness, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.